Have you ever wondered if the future can be predicted? Imagine someone writing about events that would happen hundreds or even thousands of years later, and then seeing those events unfold exactly as foretold. It sounds like something from a movie, right? But what if I told you this isn't just a plot from a Hollywood script? This has actually happened in real life, and it's written down in one of the oldest books in the world, the Bible. Today, we're diving deep into some of the most jaw-dropping biblical prophecies that have come true. And trust me, these aren't just vague predictions. We're talking about detailed, mind-blowing prophecies that have left even the skeptics scratching their heads. So buckle up, because we're about to take a wild ride through history, prophecy, and what it all could mean for us today. Let's start with one of the greatest cities of the ancient world, Babylon. Picture this, an empire so powerful that it seemed invincible. Its walls were legendary, stretching over 50 miles and so thick that two chariots could race side by side on top of them. Babylon was the jewel of the ancient world, a city everyone thought would last forever. But then, centuries before it happened, a prophecy emerged. The prophet Isaiah wrote that Babylon would fall and that its great walls would be leveled, and the city would never be inhabited again. At the time, people probably thought, yeah, right. Babylon? Fall? Not in a million years. Fast forward to 539 BC. Babylon's fate takes a shocking turn. The Persian king Cyrus comes up with a daring plan to conquer the unconquerable. Under the cover of night, his army diverts the Euphrates River, lowering the water level and sneaking into the city through its unguarded water gates. The city falls without a fight, exactly as Isaiah described. And here's the kicker. Babylon was never fully rebuilt. Today, its ruins lie in Iraq, just as the prophecy foretold. Imagine a city so mighty, left abandoned and desolate. This isn't just a coincidence. Could this be a sign that there are forces at play beyond what we understand? Now let's jump to another prophecy that seems almost too wild to believe. After being scattered across the world for nearly 2,000 years, the Bible predicted that the Jewish people would return to their homeland and become a nation again. I mean, really? A people scattered for millennia, coming back to the same land? Think about it. In AD 70, Jerusalem was destroyed, and the Jewish people were exiled and scattered to the four corners of the earth. For centuries, they lived as strangers in foreign lands. The very idea of them returning seemed impossible. Yet, the prophecy held on like a whisper in the wind, refusing to be silenced. Then, in 1948, against all odds, Israel was reborn. Jews from all over the world began to return to their ancient homeland. A nation that had been lost was suddenly alive again, in the exact spot where the Bible said it would be. It's like a script that was written long ago, finally playing out on the world stage. What are the chances, and what does this mean for us today? Could there be a deeper message in these ancient words, something that speaks to us in our time? But wait, there's more. Let's talk about Daniel. Now, Daniel had some pretty wild visions, but one of the most fascinating is the vision of a giant statue made of different metals, each representing a different empire that would rise and fall. The head of gold? That's Babylon. The chest and arms of silver? That's the Medo-Persian Empire. The belly and thighs of bronze? The Greek Empire. And the legs of iron, with feet partly of iron and partly of clay? That's Rome, a divided empire that would eventually crumble into pieces. Here's where it gets really interesting. History played out exactly as Daniel's vision predicted. Each empire rose to power and then fell, just like the statue's parts. It's almost like watching dominoes fall, one after the other, as if they were set up according to a divine design. But here's the twist. The prophecy doesn't end there. Daniel's vision includes a mysterious rock that strikes the statue, shattering it to pieces. Many believe this rock represents a future divine kingdom that will replace all earthly powers. Does this mean that our world is on the brink of another major shift? Are we living in the days just before this final prophecy comes true? Now let's take a look at Tyre, a city that was once the pride of the Phoenician coast, wealthy and seemingly invincible. The Bible, however, had other plans for Tyre. The prophet Ezekiel predicted that Tyre would be destroyed, its walls torn down, its rubble thrown into the sea, and that it would never be rebuilt. Sounds like a pretty grim fate, right? At its peak, Tyre was a city no one thought could fall. But then came Nebuchadnezzar, who besieged the city for 13 years. Afterwards, Alexander the Great arrived with a different strategy. He built a causeway out of the rubble from the mainland city, fulfilling Ezekiel's prophecy down to the letter. He literally threw the city's stones into the sea. Today, Tyre is no more than a fishing village. The once great city is gone, wiped off the map just as Ezekiel foretold. Could this be another sign that these prophecies are more than just ancient stories? Are we seeing a pattern of accuracy that points to something beyond mere chance? So here we are, living in a world filled with chaos, uncertainty, and questions about the future. Natural disasters, political upheaval, pandemics. Sound familiar? Some people believe that we're seeing biblical prophecies unfold right before our eyes. Take a look at the Middle East, particularly around Israel, and you'll see a region that's constantly in the headlines, often tied to discussions of prophecy and the end times. Could it be that the prophecies of the Bible are still at play today? Are we witnessing the beginning of the end, as some suggest? Or are these events just part of the natural flow of history? The suspense is real, the questions are heavy, and the answers? Well, they might be closer than we think. Here's the big question. Why do these prophecies matter now? Well, if these ancient predictions have come true with such precision, what does that say about the prophecies that haven't yet been fulfilled? Could there be messages hidden in these ancient texts that are meant for us today? Messages that could guide us, warn us, or maybe even give us hope in times of uncertainty. Maybe these fulfilled prophecies are a reminder, a call to pay attention to the world around us, to look beyond the chaos and to see the bigger picture. Maybe they're telling us that history isn't just a series of random events, but part of a larger story that's still being written. The truth is, we may never fully understand the mysteries of these ancient prophecies, but one thing is clear. They continue to captivate, intrigue, and inspire. They challenge us to think about our place in the world and the forces that shape our lives. And they remind us that just like the people of ancient times, we are all part of a story that is still unfolding. So what's next? Will we see more prophecies come to pass in our lifetime? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure. These ancient words are more alive today than ever, urging us to stay curious, stay alert, and maybe, just maybe, believe in something bigger than ourselves.